Today I'm going to be changing out the seat on my bike. This is a probably 12-year-old Trek 3 Series bike. I bought it new. It's been great for me. I don't ride it a whole lot, but when I do, I like to take longer rides, generally for a couple of hours. And this seat is the seat that came with it. It's just extremely uncomfortable. So I've tried, some of the covers with some gel in it. It's helped a little bit, but today I'm gonna go ahead and take this off and I'll show you the seats that I purchased, debating between a couple different ones, and hopefully this will be pretty simple to swap out and get a much more comfortable ride. So these are the two seats that I purchased on Amazon, and I was debating between which one to go with. This one was a little bit more expensive. It was the Cloud-9 Cruiser Select Airflow Saddle. And this one was the CDYWD bike seat. Now, this one is more of like a Lycra material, and this has more of a vinyl. But the springs on this were a little bit different. These ones seem a little bit more robust. They both have an attachment that goes directly over the pipe, but my application is a little bit different. So I think I'm gonna go with the Cloud-9. It's a little bit heavier, and for some that might be a negative, but it just feels a bit more quality. I think both of them would be fine. I also kind of like that this is a vinyl, just in the event that this would be outside. I thought this one would be better because it wouldn't get wet if it was rained on, even if it was just parked for a short time. So I'm gonna actually remove this from the packaging and remove this mount and use the same mount that is on my Trek bike. So I'll show you that. It's actually pretty loose. But just in case this doesn't work out, I like to have a easy way to remember how it went back together. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and take the seat out completely. There's this clip on the side, and it should pull out. So it looks like we just have to remove this reflector, and then there's just going to be one screw on the top. So we'll need to get an Allen wrench and see if we can get this loosened up and put the new one on. So every application is going to be somewhat different, but for this we're going to go ahead and just loosen up the reflector here so I can get to the rest of it. Now, I think this was some sort of a bag that clamped onto this that I haven't been using. So we'll probably delete that. And I'll save this aside just in case I find the bag that goes with it and ever decide I want to use it again. put it back like this. You know, when you start biking, you start to think about all the different lights and trip computers and cell phone mounts and all these different accessories. And sometimes they're good, and sometimes you decide, oh, this really doesn't hold my phone the way that I want it to. You kind of go through a lot of different gadgets and add-ons before you find what you really want and what works for you. So, alright, so now let's go ahead and just see if we can get this apart. This has been on here from day one, so it's going to be pretty tight. And this seat was fine. For short rides, I would say it was fine, but you know, something that is a little bit more cushy, wider, I think that's just going to make for an overall much more pleasant experience. And if the experience is not pleasant, or you're sort of having saddle sores or just soreness in general, you're just not going to want to ride. So I'm trying to see how this all fits together so we can put the other one on. It's a little greasy. So as you can see, this is a completely different mount than what came on the new seat. So I think the easiest thing to do here will just be, this is very greasy, will just be to utilize the mount that was already on here. Okay. Alright. So we have this facing this way. And this needs to go that way, so hopefully this will be the right size. Something fell off there. Okay. It's a little clumsy to hold. Now this seems to be ever so slightly wider. But I'm gonna see if tightening it down will sort of be able to force it together and get it to fit. Lining up everything is a little bit tough because you can't exactly access the bottom. Main thing is trying to get this started. Alright, we've at least got it lined up there. So, not totally sure what the right angle is going to be, so I think that's going to be a little bit of trial and error. I'm not going to tighten it down too much until I get it on the bike. Let's just see how that is gonna sit. See, I'm trying to check the angle and whether it will be too far forward or not. So I'm just going to kind of sit on it a little bit and see what that feels like. It may be tipped back a little bit too much. I did a few more minor adjustments off camera, and ultimately I'm happy with the position I have. I'm going to do some cleaning of the bike, get some air in the tires, and then we'll go take it out for a little ride. So I'm going to go through and hang this bike back up here and just give everything a going over, because I don't know that I've ever actually done that. So I watch a channel, and I wish I could remember his name, but he repairs and maintains bikes, and he actually uses furniture polish on the bikes to give them a good shine. And he has a really big channel and definitely knows what he's doing, so I don't think it will hurt anything. This one's actually for stainless steel, so I'm just gonna get all this dust off of here, because you know how much better it will look when it's actually had it going over. It's one of those things, you know, usually we get excited to ride our bike when it's a nice day and we want to hurry up and jump on it, and don't take the time to do all this. So I think after, what, 12 or 13 years, it deserves a little attention. I've given it a bath, so to speak. Hosed it down, but never really went over every little bit, because it never really gets that dirty. But when you get in here and you just see the dust that has accumulated and the dirt on the underneath that you never see, I figure it'll make it look nice and clean. Just not going to do anything on, obviously, where the brake pads touch the side of the wheel, even though he has said that that will just burn right off after the first braking. But a little attention will go a long way here. All right, the tires are inflated. That hissing you hear is the pressure being released from the compressor. I've got the bike all cleaned up and looking good. The seat is installed and seems to be adjusted to where I like it. So let's go ahead, take one last look here at the bike, and we'll go out for a little test drive and make sure it's feeling just right. So I'm wearing my Ray-Ban Meta glasses, and these glasses have really been useful in the making of this video. Being able to be hands-free when I was working on the seat definitely made it much more convenient. So I'll link those in the video in case you're interested in picking up a pair. If you purchase through this link in the video, I make a small commission, but I think they're a really awesome product and I highly recommend them. I like to make videos biking with them as well. So I'm really impressed with this seat. I find it extremely comfortable. It's a big improvement over the seat that came with the bike. Those few inches of additional width definitely take some of the strain off of the tailbone, and this seat has both padding and gel, and that coupled with the springs as well really give it a nice ride. I would say it's not overly cushy, and I was afraid that maybe the springs would sort of give too much of a feeling of bounciness, but that's not the case here. And as you see, the streets in my neighborhood tend to have areas of potholes and man covers and different obstacles, so there is sort of a bouncing along that happens when you're riding along the streets, and I just think this is going to make it a lot more enjoyable for the type of riding that I do. I mean, if you're a mountain biker and you're interested in road biking and speed, this seat weighs, I think, about 3 pounds, so it might not be something that you're interested in, but for my application, which is this type of riding and paved trails, I think it's really nice. So I definitely would recommend it. And if you haven't subscribed yet, it's not too late. If you have, welcome to the family. I love you for watching.